She was trying really hard to keep her sun hat on her head, her bag from falling off her shoulder, and carry a super big gulp at the same time. She swore that what was in the super big gulp was just iced tea, but I'm telling you, it was either of the Long Island variety or it was just plain Coca-Cola syrup. Hello and welcome! I'm Narelle Diamond, the Massaging Geek. Today we're going to do something completely fun. Well, it's fun for me. I'm having some fun mashing up two of my favorite characters. I don't do this much because the drawings that I make now are usually for the stickers for my Etsy shop, but this one was just for the fun of it. I sketched it out between massage sessions and then brought it home so that I could color it with Copic markers. I love this paper too. This is like alcohol blending paper. It's absolutely amazing. So while I was sketching this out, it dawned on me, I totally forgot that I used to use DuckTales as references to learn how to draw cartoons. Didn't even remember it. I started drawing and like bits and pieces of where the eyes go and where the bill goes and how the bill goes around just really struck home. And I mean, it was making me giddy. I guess it was like tasting a flavor of ice cream that you haven't had in 30 years. Don't ask how old I am just ignore all that. And every time that I came up with like another addition to add, I started giggling like crazy, like adding the glasses. It fits so well together. I haven't colored with the Copic markers on camera before. Please forgive me. The theme of today's drawing. Maybe I'm good at themes. It's hard to tell because my brain is a giant wire mesh ball. But today it's doctor stories. Yay. More like interactions I've had with doctors and nurses as a massage therapist. Okay, the rotator cuff is a group of 4 muscles that all work together on your shoulder so that you can move your arm around. And they're all located on the back of your body. This seems to be a little bit of a conundrum for some doctors because they lump rotator cuff as just the whole shoulder joint. So it's one of those things when a client tells me something about the rotator cuff, it's like, okay, I have to decipher what the doctor thinks he's talking about, then what he told you, then what you're relaying to me. I had a client who came in, pointed at her pec, and told me that she had a rotator cuff. It was during the time of the virus, so I was wearing a mask, and thank God, because it stopped her from seeing my very silent, sarcastic remark of, yeah, I bet you have 2 of them. But somehow this became a trend. Time and time again, I had people coming in with rotator cuff issues, and none of them were actually the rotator cuff muscles. I had a nurse client come in and tell me that she had a levator scap. Again, thank God for a mask. But the most intriguing story of all of them was one client that I had, and we're going to call her Sophia. Sophia was interesting because she would come up with these questions that I had no answer for. For example, one time she asked me if I could fix the bubbles in her stomach with rhinology. That's not a thing, and I was very confused. She came in one day and told me that she had torn her rotator cuff. Given my history with rotator cuff and the definition of it, I asked her exactly what she meant. Pretty much that day, I just didn't work on it at all, and the next time she came in, she brought a note from her doctor. He had released the medical notes so that I could take a look at him and confer with her and see if there was anything I could do. She had indeed torn her infraspinatus, which is one of the 4 rotator cuff muscles. But the weird thing was that according to the doctor's notes, there was only 2 or 3 threads of the muscle that were still holding on to her shoulder joint. How? She could move her arm. She had a hard time raising it above her head to do her hair, but other than that, she could move her arm. It just hurt sometimes. That is a freaking medical marvel. I've never heard of that before. One difficult one was, wait. I have to give you a little bit of background first. We'll call this client Melinda. Please forgive me, any nice Melindas out there. So one day I had Melinda as a client. I'd gone to pick her up from the waiting room, and we were walking back to the treatment room where I was watching her gait. She was a heavyset woman, no big deal. She had a little bit of a waddle, which just told me there was some low back issues, and she was trying really hard to keep her sun hat on her head, her bag from falling off her shoulder, and carry a super big gulp at the same time. She swore that what was in the super big gulp was just iced tea, but I'm telling you, it was either of the Long Island variety, and she had just started it, or it was just plain Coca-Cola syrup. I also noticed that her face was a little red and shiny, and given the hat, I figured maybe she'd just gotten back from vacation or something. But little did I know that Melinda had a reputation. Hey. I had closed the door to the treatment room and I was looking around, and there was a massage therapist that never spoke to me who was trying to get my attention from the room across from mine. I said, yeah. She was like, you got Melinda, huh? Mm-hmm. She said, good luck. She sees everyone at the spa. It's like we have to go through some kind of tryout with her, and God help you if she actually likes you. There's like no reply to that. When I got back into the room, I understood what she meant. Melinda was sprawled out on the table. She'd put her super big gulp on the table where the towel warmers are. So kind of like my area, if I need to put anything down. I guess it's because it was close, and so she could grab the super big gulp if she wanted to. I just seriously got to feeling like this was her room now, not mine. As I started working on her arms, I noticed that there was something weird. Like never, ever have I felt this before. There was kind of a denseness under the skin. I honestly think I was feeling the cholesterol in her veins. I might be crazy. I don't know what else it could have been. Didn't feel like fascia, didn't feel like muscle. It was just dense. Melinda had mentioned that she wanted to spend some extra time on her SCMs. You know when you see somebody turn their head and there's like this line that pops out from like behind their ear to their sternum? That's the SCM muscle, but that's not where she was pointing. I spent 5 minutes arguing with Melinda that the SCMs were on the front of the body, not on the back of the neck. She very harshly tried to put me in my place, saying that she was a nurse and she knew what she was talking about. And how dare I argue with her? This was one of the longest 90-minute sessions I've ever had. But a few weeks later, she was verbally abusive to the lead therapist during session, who afterwards looked her up on the very public Board of Nursing website and found out that she had been suspended multiple times for being drunk on the job, stealing drugs, and finally had her license revoked for like 2 years before I had even met her. This spa, the kind that won't let you out of your membership contract without a gallon of blood and your firstborn child, insisted on letting Melinda out of her contract because clearly we weren't what she was looking for and she's free to look elsewhere. Okay, so moving on from nurses to doctors. It's really hard to fight with a doctor who has their mind made up on something. I had a doctor for about a year when she got pregnant with her 3rd child. I saw her probably every 2 weeks throughout her pregnancy. Then she came back in like 3 weeks after she gave birth. I looked at her like, why are you back so soon? Why wouldn't I be? I just got back from vacation anyway. I'm like, oh, you took a newborn on vacation? Will the airlines let you do that? She said, oh, we drove. She drove. The baby was like less than 3 weeks old, and they drove to Miami. That's a long trip no matter where you're from. This is the same doctor who had an ongoing heel problem that wouldn't go see a doctor to find out what was going on. She was awesome, but very stubborn. I'm not trying to diss doctors or anyone in the medical profession. They have so much more training and education than I do. It just seems like they feel like the muscles can handle themselves, so why make a point to remembering much about them? Well, what do you think of the sketch? I love David Tennant's work. I was so stoked. I admit that I didn't like him the first time I saw him as Barty Crouch, but I don't think you're supposed to. And then when I saw that he was playing as the 10th Doctor, of course, I was like, nope, don't like him. I liked Eccleston. But obviously he grew on me. And then Matt Smith grew on me. And then son of a monkey Capaldi grew on me too. I couldn't believe that one. Yeah, when I saw that he was going to be doing the voice of Scrooge McDuck, I was so freaking excited. And then I had read Good Omens before I'd even heard of them planning on making a show. So when I heard that he was going to be playing in Good Omens as well, I mean, just so much giddiness all around. I'm not this giddy of a person, I promise. If you have any interesting doctor stories, please feel free to leave them down below so that we can share in your trauma and help with the recovery. Also, I'm new to all of this. Then I burped. Either way, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you really enjoyed it. Psst. Are they gone? All those people that click off early? Good. Now you get a mini story that's just for you. Once upon a time in a spa not so far away, but indeed long ago, I was watching a monitor in the break room for when my client was going to come in. I'd never worked on her before, so I had no idea what she looked like. One of the SAs, or spa administrators, front desk people, whatever you want to call them, we all called them SAs, she came into the back room to talk to me. She's running late. I figured, I said. We chit-chatted about stuff and waited until a new person walked into the frame on the monitor. She was like middle-aged, short, blonde hair, and she was tapping her fingers on the counter, waiting for the SA who was still up front to notice her. So the essay that was in the back laughed. How much do you want to bet her name is Karen? My client's name on the check-in board suddenly became underlined, indicating that she was here. I grinned at the essay. I said, yep, and she's my client. That was a long time ago, before the Karen meme became popular. The lady didn't even have spiky hair, but I don't remember much of an attitude. I just thought it was funny that the essay pegged her as a Karen, and she was actually a Karen. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, where I'm going to do a massage therapist commentary video. We'll be watching A Knight's Tale. All the trudging gaits that we can handle. Thanks again, and remember to drink water. I had gone to pick her up from the treatment room. Whoa, that's the wrong one. She put her super big gulp on that little table area that's got like the table warmer. She'd put her super big gulp on my table area, like where the table. Either way, thank you for watching. Please like, share,